Okay, my dear learners over there, I welcome you to our e-learning hub. So from the previous lesson, that was lesson 16, we looked at a reproductive system of a male. We discussed it, we drew it, and we got to know various things, interesting things about it. So in this lesson, we are moving on with our human body, and we are going to look at puberty and adolescence. But before we start, we always begin with our word bank. So when we look at our words here, there are 9 words, but all of them, they are talking about weather instruments. Then let us get started. So our first word here, it is rain gauge. This is rain gauge, which is pronounced as rain gauge. So this rain gauge, it's there to measure the amount of rainfall received, and this rainfall is measured in millimeters. In millimeters. Why? It is measured in millimeters in order to know how deep this water has entered the soil. So our next word is barometer. This is a barometer. So this instrument is used to measure what we call air pressure. Remember, we said one of the properties of air is that air exerts pressure. Then another is the anemometer. This one is anemometer. So anemometer, it has a speed meter with these caps here. So this speed meter, it is there to measure the speed of wind. It does not show, but it measures the speed. How fast is this wind moving? Then another is the wind vane. So now this wind vane does not have the speed meter. It has just the directions north, south, east, west. So this one just shows the direction of wind. It has a compass on top, so it is there to show the direction of wind. Then this one is the hygrometer. This one is called as hygrometer. So this hygrometer, it is an instrument which we use to measure humidity. Remember, humidity is the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere. So this other word is windsock. This is wind sock. So it is like a sock. That's why it is called windsock. So this one is a windsock. So its work is to show, doesn't measure, but it shows how strong wind is. So it shows the strength of wind. Then here we have rain. So some people mistake this word. They use double N, but they are not double N's. So it is just one N. Rainy season. Then this one is cloud, and the clouds that that give us rain, they are called nimbus clouds. Then lastly, we have this word called drought. So what is drought? So it is a prolonged period of time without rain. Alright, so you write those words there and practice how to spell them and how useful are these weather instruments at the weather station. So from there, let us take our science diagram. Alright, so our science diagram today, we are going to look at an instrument also still, and this instrument here, it is a thermometer. What do you know about thermometers? So thermometers are instruments that we use to measure temperature. Then what is temperature? So temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of any object. Is the degree of hotness or coldness of any object. So all the instruments we use to measure the temperature of those of the place of an object, it is called a thermometer. And again, we have 4 types of thermometers. One, we have the 6's thermometer, we have the ordinary scientific thermometer, we have the clinical thermometer, and also we have what we call the wall thermometer. So this wall thermometer is used to measure the temperature of a room, like the office, like your room there at home. Then the clinical thermometer is used by doctors to measure the temperature of the body. Then ordinary scientific thermometer, it is used in the laboratories. And also the 6 thermometer, it is found at the weather station, used to measure the temperature of the day. So what we are seeing here, it is the clinical thermometer, or the doctor's what? The doctor's thermometer. So let us name the parts it has quickly. So this one is a glass bulb. So this glass bulb is there to hold mercury, and is made thin in order to make mercury expand very fast. Now this one inside here, it is what we call the glass bore. the glass ball, and this glass ball, it is made thin in order to get an accurate scale. Then this is what we call the glass stem, which is calibrated. It has digits, numbers which we use to indicate the temperature of the person, and each stick here, it is carrying 0.1 degrees Celsius. So it is it is ranging from 35 to 42. Why? Because the normal body temperature of a person ranges between 35 degrees to 37 degrees Celsius. So this thermometer, this clinical thermometer, it is also called the doctor's thermometer. It is placed in the places like under the armpits on the body, then in the vagina, then in the mouth, under the tongue. It is put under the tongue to prevent you from biting it. So it has all the kink. So the kink prevents the backflow of mercury before the doctor or the nurse or the user takes the readings. This kink is also called the constriction, as well as a narrow bend. Alright, so this has been our science diagram. So let us move on and see our work for today. Alright, so today we are going to discuss puberty and adolescence. So we are going to understand what puberty is. So puberty, let us start with the puberty, let us start with the growth. So growth is the increase in what? In size. Then from growth we are going to look at development. So development is the it is the increase in maturity. So this one is the increase in maturity. Then puberty, it is the period during adolescence. This is the period during adolescence when boys and girls become sexually mature and can have a baby, but not yet, right? Then let us look at adolescence. So adolescence is the transition change. So adolescence is the transitional change from childhood to adulthood. Then this adolescence starts in boys. It starts from the age of 14 and ends at the age of 21. Then in girls, it starts from 9 years to 21 years. Then during this adolescence, so the people who are going through adolescence, we call them the adolescents. So now during adolescence, therefore, the changes during adolescence are classified into 4 stages, and these stages are: 1, the primary sex characteristics; 2, secondary sex characteristics; and 3, psychological and emotional changes; and 4, out of step changes. Now we are going to start with the primary sex characteristics. So now primary sex characteristics, these are the characteristics that involve reproductive organs or the sexual organs. That involve the sexual organs, the development of sexual organs to prepare them for their function of reproduction, because these sexual organs, their function is to carry out reproduction. That is the penis, the vagina, the ovaries, and the testes. So that is. Now let us see the primary sex characteristics in boys. So let us start with the boys. So in boys, there are mainly 2. 1, the testes enlarge. So the testes enlarge and they start to produce sperms. So the testes enlarge and start to produce sperms. And 2, the penis increase in size. So the penis increases in size, it becomes big, so it increases in size. So what shows that now you are producing sperms, and now that is the experiencing of wet dreams. Now in girls, so in girls here, the uterus or the womb develops. When it develops, then the ovaries start to produce the ova. When the ovaries start to produce the ova, then the process of ovulation is going to start. Then here they are going to go through or to experience what we call the menstruation periods. They are going to start experiencing menstruation periods. So let us start with what we call ovulation. What is ovulation? So this is the process by which the ovary releases a mature ovum. So by which the ovary releases a mature ovum. Then a menstruation So menstruation is the periodic shedding of blood or release of blood from the uterus as a result of the rupturing of the uterus membrane because fertilization has not taken place. And now this menstruation period starts in girls at as early as 9 years up to and it occurs every month, so it occurs every after 28 days, and it lasts for 3 to 4 days. And the first menstruation period in girls is called menarche, and the last menstruation period is called menopause. It is called menopause. Then so let us see how should we which care should we take during menstruation. One, we should avoid infections by being clean. So people who are undergoing menstruation periods must be clean to avoid infections. Two, they have to use the sanitary parts like the soflex, the feathers, princess, secret, and orange. Then three, even have shibaholic sort of. Then three, they have to visit a health worker in case of any abnormalities during their menstruation periods. So in the next lesson we shall discuss fully the process of menstruation cycle. So you've been a good learner. After this lesson you are going to do a science test that is going to be a section B, that is from number 41 to number 55. That's why I'm not going to give you an assignment. So thank you. We meet in the next lesson, but you have to do that assignment and submitting for approval.